I watched this woman's Instagram post on repeat about 5 times, and it is hilarious. So, this video, we're talking about dating. Her caption, something's got to give in these dating streets in 2024 because I am sick of this. Watch this video.
Not a petting zoo. I want you. I want to get to know you. I like you. No, you don't. You just want to touch my private parts. This is not a petting zoo. I want you. I want to get to know you. I like you. No, you don't. You just want to touch my private parts. This is not a petting zoo. I want you. I want to get to know you. I like you. No, you don't.
Now, for some of the emotionals in the comment section, Raymond wants to know, what do women want from men? And this person says, to be treated like a human being, not used as a smix toy. Maccabee says, so y'all want ninjas to be gay, as if that is the only other option. And this person says, no, we want to be treated as human beings, not lied to, so some thirsty male can get some smecks. And David Henderson says, and you just want some guy to spend money on you as much as you get him to spend. And these people simply cannot understand that this is the reason why women go to work. And women can simply go buy themselves some food or ourselves some food. They really are operating from the stance that women can't work, whatever. This person, JJ, says, she looks too old to be waiting. Okay, going back to calling women old. And so this person says, so her age means she isn't allowed to have boundaries with her body. Okay, Chopper J just thinks all women just want them for their money. And then towards the bottom, why do women have an issue with men being men? Damn, I do want to touch your private parts, woman, but I want to get to know you as well. Uh, really? Really? This person says the issue is not men being men, it's about intentionality. And he says, ma'am, if a man wants to genuinely get to know you, doesn't he still want to touch your private parts? It doesn't matter about the intentions because that is always a part of our intentions, no matter what our intentions are. Okay, so they're just going to keep on saying it. We just want your private parts. That's it. Your humanity does not particularly matter. The person at up top says least married for a reason. Exhibit A, childlike behavior. They always want to talk about our least married situation as if they're not the least married men, whatever. This woman says, ladies, no use in arguing with the men mentioning their money. Take enjoyment in looking at their profiles. You will no longer feel the need to respond. This person says, women, trying to share a laugh about a mutual experience. Men in the comments, what about me? Absolutely. That is what's happening. Then we have this beautiful lady. She is talking about leaving after the first red flag. And we're going to keep on having that conversation because people get upset with you when things all tumble down and fall apart and the situation is terrible. And then they wonder, they gaslight you. Well, why didn't you leave? Well, why didn't you leave after you saw that he was sucky? Well, that's because a lot of us turn off that intuition or whatever, and we try to give people a chance, but it ends up being the same thing at the end that was the issue at the beginning. Watch this woman's video.
Your dating life is to drop him after his first offense.
This is like the best dating advice I've ever heard. Cutting someone off at their first offense. The world wants you to think that you're being too picky, that you're a woman who will never find anyone. Hashtag wedding bells in 2055. You're going to be an old cat lady, blah, blah, blah. We've all heard it all before. But the red flags that you see in the beginning, the things that you and your partner fight over in the beginning, are the things that will break you up. Or those are the things that are going to be in your relationship the entire length of your relationship. So when you're in the beginning stages, you have to ask yourself, are those things worth it? Can you deal with those things for the rest of your life? If not, you should leave at the beginning because they're not going anywhere. And in my relationship experience, these are facts.
The best.
All right, so for some of the emotionals, this man says, and you're cool with men doing this to you, right? We don't care. Y'all gonna do what you want to do. Y'all, men give men the most terrible advice anyway, so do what you're gonna do. We don't care. Cap says the first offense usually ends up being the exact reason why you end up having to drop them anyways in the long run. Absolutely. So leave. Have your set of red flags and red lines, and then leave once they cross them. This person says, you 304s are going to be old and single. That's literally all they can say. This person says, funny, men saying this is wrong are the same ones who blame you for getting your heart broken, saying you saw the red flags and ignored them. And then a man, here he comes. I think the argument is not being on one extreme, ignoring or putting up with everything, or the other extreme, leaving at the first sign of an issue in pursuit of perfection. Hope this helps. It doesn't help because this is a man giving advice. Stop listening to men because they make it either or, and it really isn't either or. Men really do gaslight women because they say you should leave, you should have seen the signs, but nobody is asking for perfection. Nobody's asking for perfection. We're humans, but if it is a red flag, then yes, you need to leave. This person says it's crazy because men drag women in the comments saying we need to choose better. Then we start setting boundaries and shying away from inconsistent, undisciplined men. We still get dragged. It's exhausting, honestly. And it really is because when you listen to men, there's no real way to win any arguments by listening to men. That is the reason why it's best to not take advice from them because they will consistently be moving the goalposts. This man says, so one red flag is enough by this logic, not not no red flags with the S. Stop listening to men. When they jump in the comment section, I personally don't allow them to have too much bandwidth in my comment section, but I go to other people's posts so I can just screenshot some of their words. I don't take advice from them. But this person says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That is where we are right now, ladies. Stop listening to them because they will have you ignoring all kind of red flags. And then they'll just be like, see, I'm not perfect. You just want perfection. Stop listening to them. This person says, no wonder there's going to be a lot of single women by 2030. They just say the same things over and over. Look at him. You could tell that all of these men across culture, race, country of origin, they are saying similar things. Get your passport, boys. Look at his picture. They are saying the same thing across country, race, country of origin, culture, all that. They're saying the same things. It is boring. This woman responded to Ross by saying, as a woman from overseas, please stay in the States. We don't like 50-50 men or disappointments. This woman says, phew, so I met a man a bit older than me, had everything, and we vibed and connected well. But I didn't like the way he belittled me and made little sneaky comments. It almost felt like I was crazy and was overanalyzing it, but I left. No explanation, but simply because it didn't make me feel good, you know? Bye. Exactly. When they start negging, that is a manipulation tactic. Leave them alone. And if men jump in your comment section and want to be like, he was just joking, stop listening to them. And then we have my girl Ruthie. She's on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, just click into the caption. You can watch this video. But she said that she went on a date or she was on a date and he was over an hour late getting to her. She communicated with him that she understood that he was, texting her or whatever, but she expects for him to be punctual. And that setting that boundary and communicating that standard is what caused him to fly off the handle. And how he handled her having a boundary caused him to get upset. And that was basically the end of that. Ladies, how these men handle you having boundaries and standards, it is really highlighting red flags quickly.
I literally just hopped out of a moving car because I was on the date from hell. Okay, like when I tell you I didn't even wait for this man to pull over, he was over an hour late for our date. Over an hour late to our date. I should have known then to just cancel the shit because you're not respecting my time. However, I overlooked it because I'm like, oh my God, I've known this person since high school, and he's communicating with me, letting me know like, hey, I'm going to be, this amount of minutes late. Like, he's calling me, texting me, letting me know what's up because there's traffic. We live here in LA. Shit happens. He's coming off work, whatever. So I was cool with it. I was like, all right, cool. You're being communicative. Like, I'll still continue the date. He comes to pick me up over an hour late. And when I get in the car, we hug. Hey, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Like, good to see you, right? And then I let him know, like, hey, like, you're an hour late. Like, next time, like, please don't show up so late because, like, I won't, like, go on a date. Like, I was being firm. I wasn't being a bitch. I wasn't being condescending. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't being aggressive. None of that shit. I was just letting him know, like, hey, I'm a very punctual person. My time is valuable to me. And if you're going to tell me you're going to be here at 6 o'clock, don't show up past 6. Okay, don't show up at especially 7 o'clock an hour later. And do you know that this man turned his car around? It's like, I'm taking you back home. Like, who do you think you are telling me that I can't be late, pick you up to a date? I drove 30 minutes to pick you up and I paid for these tickets and blah, 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 blah. And who do you think you are? Who the fuck do I think I am, sir? Like, this is why they warn you, don't ever date the person that has chased you for a long time, that has wanted you for a long time, because they're usually crazy. I jumped out of a halfway moving car tonight because I could not get away from this man fast enough. And I left his door wide the fuck open and he like busts a bitch in the middle of the street and like peels off. What the fuck is wrong with you, men? Are you seriously mad because someone told you don't be an hour late to picking them up? The woman that you've been chasing for over 20 years finally gives you the time of day. I feel like this is one of those moments where he had it in his mind the whole time to play in my face because he wanted to get back at me from 20 years ago or something. Now, mind you, this is not an ex. I've never done anything to this man. I've never slept with him, never kissed him, never like curved him in any type of way, never played with this man's emotions. But I feel like because he didn't have access to me for over 20 years, when he finally got the opportunity, he wanted to like show me who's boss. Okay.
Now, Ruthie's video is getting so many comments. This person says, towards the bottom, that's very important to say that if someone is communicating with you while they're late, it shows that they at least care and are trying to get there. And then Ruthie says, yes, he was communicating at first, and I saw that as a green flag. His response to my boundaries made him a red flag. Okay, so then, of course, men were all up and down in her comment section. And this is the reason why I say, don't listen to them. Romario says, so you understood that he would be late, but yet you still blew up in his face. She didn't blow up. She communicated a standard and boundary, but they don't see a standard or a boundary as just simple communication. They take it as something negative. This person at the bottom says, who do you think you are? And she responds with the main character hope. So this person says, drove 30 minutes. So that means he left late. He outed himself without even thinking. Exactly. He was over an hour late, but he only drove 30 minutes. Okay, so this woman says, red flag, you dodged a bullet. And Ruthie's like, agreed. But then this person says, nah, he legit for that. Girl, you have no clue why he was late. Don't you tell him what he can and can't do. You didn't even ask why you just demanded him not. Yeah, he just mad. Him just mad. And yeah, chaotic kitten is totally chaotic. I'm sorry. I know I put a lot of dating things in this one video, but y'all, I know it's hard out here for the dating girlies, but we have got to be smarter. We got to communicate. We got to have our boundaries. We got to know our red flags and our red lines and just leave them. Stop listening to these men. Stop listening to the pick me's. Just leave these people where they stand. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like,